Today's session will discuss the murder case in voting. The defendant Alif Hidayatullah was strongly suspected of murdering his wife, Aura Fajri Takio Putri. Based on the investigation result, this tragedy incident Alif occurred at their residence on November 10, 2024. The defendant is charged with premeditated murder where the relevant motive and evidence indicate internal conflict regarding his act. Today's session will be further outline the chronology of events, the alleged motive, and the evidence present by the prosecutor. So the president judge, associate judge, plaintiff Asatney, defendant Asatney, please enter the room.
The quorum is complete. In accordance with Article 2030 of the Criminal Procedure Code, the session is ready to process. Everyone in the room is expected to maintain order. Are the attorneys for the plaintiff and the defendant ready?
Yes, my honor.
Okay, do the attorneys for the plaintiff and the defendant have any familial relationship with the judge?
No, sir.
Okay, very well. The Tribunal Court shall examining and adjudicating the criminal case under the name of defendant Alif Hidayatullah is hereby declared open and public. The defendant is requested to enter the room. Okay, sir. Are you in good healthy today?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Very well. I will ask you some question. What is your name?
Alif Hidayatullah,
Your gender?
man,
Your age?
20,
20. Okay. Your address?
Depok.
Okay. Thank you. Very well. The defendant is expected to remain orderly during the trial. Based on Article 54 of the Criminal Code, the defendant is entitled to legal counsel. Is this your attorney?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Now, both attorneys, please step forward to verify your documentation. Does the plaintiff attorneys escape the presence of the defendant legal counsel?
Yes, my honor.
Check this. Okay, thank you. You can sit now. All right. The next. Today's agenda is to read the defendant's indictment. Has the defendant's attorneys received a copy of the indictment?
Yes.
The plaintiff attorney is invited to process.
My honorable judge, esteemed defendant, attorney, and audience, we respectfully present the indictment letter. Case number 1 under criminal case type B, filed in the year 2024. Dwi Guna Court. Concerning the defendant Alif Hidayatullah, based on the fact obtained during the investigation and inquiry, the prosecutor charged the defendant under Article 338 of the Criminal Code on murder charge. Here is the chronology event. On the night November 10, 2024, around past 10 p.m., a quarrel began when Aura Fajri questioned her husband Alif led a rival home, accusing him of infidelity due to change in behavior and frequent late return. The accusation triggered Alif's anger, leading to shouting and abusive language, worsening and the situation. In the heat of the argument, Alif grabbed a kitchen knife and threatened Aura, their neighbor Aska April Sosilo. Witnesses Alif holding the knife through the kitchen window gap. Alif stabbed Aura 3 times in the abdomen, causing her to fall at the floor. Subsequently, her dragged her body to the bedroom. The post-mortem examination showed that Aura suffered 3 stab wounds, leading to surface bleeding and instant death. Alif attempted to erase evidence by washing the knife and disposing of the bloody clothing outside the house. The next morning, Aska reported the matter to the authority, who found our body in the bedroom. Alif was arrested to his office hours later and confessed to the crime during interrogation, citing frustration and jealousy as motive.
Very well. Does the defendant understand what has been stated? Okay. Does the defense attorney have any objections?
Since there are no changes in the indictment letter, we will find an objection note.
Very well. Everyone, please pay close attention. Defense attorney, hear my process.
I, Fadil Muhammad Alauddin, as the legal counsel for the defendant, Alif Hidayatullah, hereby file an objection exception to the public prosecutor's indictment related to the murder case as regulated in Article 338 of the Criminal Code. Letter number 01, defendant exception, registers under XXI in the year 2024 Biguna Code. The criminal act occurred due to momentary emotion. The act committed by the defendant was triggered by momentary emotional provoked by verbal insult and threats from the victim. The victim's provocation led to unquestionable anger in the defendant. There is no evidence indicating prior intent or planning, making any action a spontaneous reaction rather than premeditated. Demonstrations by defendant. The defendant has shown deep remorse and cooperated fully during the investigation process. Defendant has confessed to the act and is willing to take responsibility, showing good faith that should be considered as a mitigating factor in sentencing. Based on the above reasons, we respectfully request the Honorable Judge to consider mitigating circumstances for the defendant. This, this objection note is submitted. We hope the Honorable Judge will consider all the reasons presented. Thank you for your attention and wisdom.
Okay, thank you. Very well. The next agenda is the reading of the preliminary decision by the judge. However, according to the 2014 Circular number 2, let us prepare the current report. Here the court will continue the session in 3 days. How many days does the prosecutor need to gather evidence?
3 days, Your Honor.
Okay, defense attorney, do you plan to present witness letter? And how many days do you need for that? Okay, very well. Prosecutor and defense attorneys, please come forward to sign the agreed calendar report. The trial of Wiguna Court will examine and adjudicate the criminal case against the defendant Alif Hidayatullah. I declare open and accessible to the public.
Ladies and gentlemen, please sit.
Recession number one criminal case B year 2024. We're gonna count for the sake of justice in the name of the Almighty God, the panel of judges of We're Court, which examines and adjudicates the criminal case against the defense Al-Fidatullah in the murder case involving the victim Aura Faji Takia Putri after considering all matters present in the trial both from the plaintiff attorney and the defense attorney Herbie DeVries and interpretation. The case is based on the indictment letter submitted by the plaintiff attorney to the Dogina Court. The defense, Al-Fidatullah, is charged with a criminal act as equivalent in Article 3003H of the Criminal Code concerning murder, which has a maximum sentence of 5 years in prison.
Based on the facts, the panel of judges provides the following consideration. The indictment prepared by the plaintiff's attorney is deemed lawful and fulfills the formal requirements as stipulated in the Criminal Procedure Code. The objection raised by the defendant's attorney, after being carefully examined by the panel of judges, is not sufficient to invalidate the plaintiff's attorney indictment. Therefore, the examination of the case against the defendant Al-Fidatullah must proceed the evidentiary stage. Interim decision. Based on this consideration, the panel of judges decides. Declares that the objection or exception raised by the defendant's attorney are inadmissible. Orders that criminal case against the defendant Al-Fidatullah proceed to the defendant's stage with the presentation of witness, evidence, and the defendant's testimony at the next trial. Orders that the defendant remains in custody to ensure the smooth running of the trial and to uphold legal interests. The rest of the document will follow in the next message. Continuation of the translation.
Thus, the panel of judges determines that the evidentiary stage will immaterially process by hearing witness statements and the submitted evidence. The interim decision is ready today on 27 in a public trial by the panel of judges of the Gina Court. The trial process to the evidentiary stage. The prosecution may now call the first witness to the courtroom.
Madam, can you explain the chronology of the incident?
Thank you, Your Honor. On the night of the incident, around 11:30 p.m., I was at my house, which is located right next to my sister's house. Suddenly, I heard a loud scream coming from my sister's house. The sound was very clear through the walls of our homes because they are very close. The scream sounded like a cry for help, but after a while, the sound stopped and was no longer heard. I hesitated to check because it was late at night, and I was worried something dangerous might have happened. The next morning, I felt uneasy and decided to check my sister's house. When I entered, I found my sister lifeless in her room. Her condition was terrible, and I immediately sought help from neighbors. I don't know what happened at that night, but my sister's screams still echo in my mind. I hope justice can be served for my sister.
Thank you for your testimony. Plaintiff attorney, you might present the evidence.
Madam, is this the knife the murderer used to the victim?
Okay, thank you. Very well. Defendant's attorney, you might now present your witness.
The witness might now enter the courtroom.
Okay, witness, what do you know about this incident?
Thank you, Your Honor. On the night of the incident, I was with the victim at a cave from 8 p.m. to around 10 p.m. After that, we parked west in the parking lot. The victim went to her vehicle and I went straight home. Everything seemed normal while we were at the cave. I did not see the suspect or anything suspicious that night.
Thank you for your testimony.
Your Honor, we would like to present additional evidence in the form of video to strengthen our case.
As this evidence be purposely submit.
Yes, Your Honor.
Very well, clerk, please display the evidence.
Baru baru balik jam segini.
Capek.
Habis dari mana?
Kerja.
Mabuk kali lu. Lihat lu jam berapa?
Ini jam 2 siang.
Mabuk kan lu sama siapa? Sama si Kevin lagi kan?
Kagak.
Coba.
Habis kerja.
Defendant, attorney, do you have a play? Yes, Your Honor. Please proceed. Your Honor remembers of the panel of judges. I am Fadil, as legal representative of the defendant Ali Hidayatullah, respectfully request that Your Honor consider that the evidence and witness testimonies presented by the prosecution are insufficient to substantiate the charge convincingly. There are no eyewitnesses, and the existing witness statements are contradictory. The defendant has no prior criminal record and has been cooperative throughout the trial. Moreover, there is no strong motive for the alleged crime. Therefore, we respectfully request that the defendant be acquitted of all the charges. If Your Honor has a different opinion, we plead for the latest possible stances. Respectfully.
The plaintiff attorney have an response.
No, Your Honor.
Very well, today's session include the verdict will be delivered today. After tomorrow, following a close deliberation by the panel of judges, today trial is adjourned.
Ladies and gentlemen, please sit.
The trial of the Tribunal Court, which examines and adjudicates the criminal case against the defendant Ali Hidayatullah, I declare open and accessible to the public.
After reviewing a testimony from witness, weeks of evidence, the defense statements, and after considering the defense version by the defense counsel and the prosecution demands, the plans of justice as careful and thoroughly assess all matters related to the case against the defendant Alif Hidayatullah, who in August of committing murder as stated in Article 3038 of the Criminal Code.
The panel of judges concluded that the charges presented by the prosecution are proven valid and convincing based on facts revealed during the trial. From the testimonies of the witness and the evidence presented, it is proven that the defendants intentionally and unlawfully took the life of the victim, Aura Fajri Takia Putri, in the manner described in the charge. The defense present by the defendant's counsel, after thorough consideration of all evidence and facts, is insufficient to justify the defendant's action. The defendants knowingly committed the murder, resulting in the loss of life.
In determining the sentence, the panel of judge consider aggravating and mitigating factors. The aggravating factor is that the defendant's action caused the loss of life and inflicted suffering on the victim's family. The mitigating factor include the defendant's cooperative attitude during the trial and his remorse for his action. Based on this consideration, the panel of judge sentenced the defendant Alif Hidayatullah to 20 years of imprisonment for committing murder as stipulated in Article 338 of the Criminal Code. This verdict is final and binding unless further legal action is taken by either party, declared in Depok on 13 November, Presiding Judge Pawas Praetno. Thank you. Does the defendant have any response?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, based on this, I declare that this has been concluded. It's closed for today. Thank you to all parties who have attended. I, Paul Sroto, and my judge, the hearing is closed.
I think it's time we blow this scene. Get everybody in the stuff together. Okay, 3, 2, 1, let's jam.
Indonesia, an archipelago rich in culture and natural beauty, is now facing a serious challenge, a high murder rate. While we often heard about its breathtaking landscape and the hospitality of its people, data shows that these issues cannot be ignored.
Static and facts. According to data from the Central Statistics Agency, an annual report from the Indonesia National Police. The number of murder cases in Indonesia reached, with average of 4 cases per day. This is an alarming figure, especially compared to the previous years, which record approximately case. The trend show increase, reflecting the urgency of addressing the problem.
A hate murder rate not only threatens individual safety but also describes social order. A survey by the National Human Rights Commission, or CONASHAM, revealed that 70% of people feel unsafe in their neighborhood. However, there is hope. Education and skill training programs for youth in focal violence prone rates have successfully reduced crime rate by 13% over the past few years. By understanding the available data and facts, we can contribute to creating change. Let us commit together to building a safer and more peaceful society.
However, their figures only reflect part of a more complex reality. Research published in the Indonesian Journal of Criminology reveals that many factors influence the murder rate, including poverty, social injustice, and lack of access to education. In certain regions, such as Papua and Nusa Tenggara, murder rates can sharply rise due to social conflict and intergroup tensions. Furthermore, a study by the Research and Community Service Institute (RLPPM) of the University of Indonesia found that 60% of murder perpetrators were involved in criminal networks or had a history of violence. This indicates that the issue is often rooted in socio-economic disparities.